Do I have to say got it or something? Or did you appear to say got it? Taylor, do we need to acknowledge this got it up here?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's in the closet.
Oh,
It's hiding. It's not behind Eric anymore. Over there. He's always looking at it going, let's make it noise behind me.
Yeah. So Tim will be gone. Zoom in and Eric is gone.
Eric is gone. Okay.
Tim did say he might be late though. He's got to run back to his hotel room for his conference.
We'll see if he's going.
Yeah. Run means run, right?
1, 2. Well, we need him for a quorum.
I don't know how do the numbers work now that
No,
Julie's
you
not
got-
here.
you got a 5.
Yeah, we have
You're in the.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yep,
is
you're
that
down
based
one.
on 6? Nope. Okay. Based on 5, because there's only 5. I guess I knew that too.
Yeah, so you're good.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock. Let's call the City of Amory Common Council meeting to order on October 6th, 2021. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Strobush. Van Blaricom.
Present.
Isaacson.
Here.
Flannum.
here.
Leonard.
Here.
Elkin.
Okay, we have public comment tonight. Let's start off with Fran, our county board representative.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. I just want to give you a quick update on a couple of issues that Polk County is working on that would be of interest to our citizens here in Amory. One of them is that recently there has been some concern about the status of the funding of the kinship program in Polk County by Polk County. Apparently, they went back and looked, and the way that the county is funding kinship will need to be restructured a little bit to make sure that that's in compliance with all of the IRS and other codes about how the municipalities can make donations and how they can fund outside entities. So that will be cleared up. So we want to reassure everybody that kinship will still continue to receive the funding that they've gotten in the past. From Polk County, no funding has been cut. They got the funding that was allocated to them this year, and they will continue to receive that funding in the future as well, with that being restructured. Also, something the county has been working on is the Clam Falls Dam. That is a dam that was owned by a hydroelectric company. It's a large dam, it's privately owned, not in compliance with the DNR. There's been orders to remove the dam and take it out of there. 70% of that property is owned by the DNR around the flowage in the lake there. There's probably maybe 10 or a dozen private property owners on the lake as well as that. The legislature did allocate $2 million to go towards the repair of the dam to bring the dam in compliance and up to code. The hydroelectric company had about $500,000 in escrow that they are willing to contribute towards also the reconstruction and update and bringing the dam into compliance, or to really, those monies will be turned over to the county for the county to use towards the dam as the county sees fit as well. The town of Clam Falls has committed to the maintenance of the dam. Moving forward, there is an insurance cost every year, of course, towards insuring the dam. There is the cost of the annual dam inspections. It's no different than a dam here in the city as far as what is required to be in compliance. There's also an operation, maintenance and safety plans that have to be in place. So the county board did approve a resolution authorizing the transfer of the ownership of the dam to the county. That was a controversial thing and a split vote. There is a cap on the money, so until the project is really bid, we don't know how much it will cost for the reconstruction and to bring everything into compliance. Also, something the county is working on is a new logo, because each department kind of has their own logo that they have formulated for their department. And for branding and promotional purposes, the county would like to have a uniform logo that each department could maybe have room to put their own department information on. So I present to you the logo that is the favorite right now in the running to be the new Polk County logo. So that is what that looks like. As well, you've been dealing with redistricting here, just like everybody else in the county has. Polk County did gain some population. Population was lost in the northeast part of the county, and population was gained in the southwest part of the county. So for supervisory districts, there's a few changes. Mostly in the area of the town of Alden and Farmington, in that area. There is a change that's fairly close to us. Jay Luke's district has changed a little bit as far as where Garfield sits. So the Lake Wapagasset area and community is now split. There's in 2 different districts rather than 1 district as well. But most of them stayed pretty much the same. Our district here in the city of Amory stayed the same as well. Something probably the biggest thing to talk about is the county's ARPA monies. As you know, the county received over $4 million in ARPA monies. And we're having meetings of committee on the whole to decide how to move forward, how to allocate those monies. The county did claim all of that first payment of money as lost revenue. And it went into the county's fund balance, which means the county can spend it pretty much any way that they want to. So there were 4 buckets of money that were proposed, and it was proposed they be used on county-centric projects. That would be 1 bucket for infrastructure, 1 for environmental and water quality, 1 for parks, trails, recreation, 1 for public health and public safety. And then in addition to that, something that came out of our conversation, a committee of the whole, basically Jay Luke, John Bonneprice, and myself kind of tried to push for and head up with another bucket of money called community projects, which is where some of those monies could come back to our local communities in Polk County, including the city of Amory, possibly as a match type of situation, although that hasn't been worked out yet, to also give back to our local communities who partner so well with the county and do something to kind of spread the love a little bit on those kind of things. So again, I spoke about this last time. I'm going to speak about it tonight too, because I authored a resolution that goes before the General Government Committee next week, and will go before the Polk County Board at their October meeting regarding using some of the ARPA monies to fund and refurbish the Polk County Recycling Center. So we will see where that resolution goes. Again, I'm going to urge everybody who doesn't live in the city, who may be viewing this, to contact their supervisors and let them know how they feel about recycling and saving the Polk County Recycling Center. I also got to give a shout out to my peeps from the Amory Women's Club who have worked so hard and tirelessly to promote recycling and recycling education in our community. They will be out supporting that effort coming up at the upcoming county meetings. So does anybody have any questions for me or anything? One last thing I'm going to throw out there is we're working on the county budget right now. So I don't have any set budget information to give you tonight because that's still a work in progress.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for the update,
Sounds
Fran.
good. You're very welcome.
Eric, did you want to speak here a little bit?
Sure, okay. Yeah, I'll just give a brief project update.
Yep.
We are in the final stages. All of the concrete is now on the ground. Basically the steps left, they're out there fine grading the south end of the road right now. And through the north end, they've been working on adjustments and certain punch list items throughout this week. They'll continue to do that just so when the final pavement comes down, the north end, they're trying to knock out as many of the punch list items and cleanup work as they can so that once the final pavement comes, it's done.
Right.
So they'll fine grade the south end this week. And then last update I had was Monarch is planning to come early next week to pave the first 2 layers on the south end. A1 will be right behind them to do adjustments for late next week. And then early the week of the October 18th, Monarch would be here to start doing the surface layer under the DOT contract, and line marking would follow as soon as possible. That being said, I mentioned this, I believe, at committee of the whole, that we were hoping to throw like a little city block party, and we had talked about dates and things like that. And now that the schedule is kind of winding down, I think October 22nd, it's a Friday afternoon, would be a good kind of time to have that. And if I could get input from the council on how long you would like that to be and what sort of hours, MSA would kind of just throw out like a 2 to 4 p.m. time range. And if things are still going at 4 p.m., keep going. But you know, if you throw out 2 to 6 and things die at 5, then you feel like you got to keep it open. So I guess I'd look to you for a little bit of direction on what we can put on the graphics so that we can start getting the word out to people on social media as well.
If we advertise stopping at 4, there will be folks that will be ornery because they work till 4 o'clock. So I would,
Sure,
even if it went to 4:30 or something, you know.
sure. Yeah, or with like a 3 to 5.
3 to
time
5?
range work
I
better.
think that would be,
Okay. Great.
And it's gonna be pretty close to dark about then, I
Yeah,
suppose.
that's the only issue. If you go until 5, it's gonna be getting dark.
well, it
Kick on all
doesn't
those
get dark at
lights.
5.
I know, that was gonna be my question. Are we gonna have lights?
Because daylight
Lights
savings.
should-
Got it.
time goes
Lights
off.
should be up. It should still be light by 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
At mid to late October, it's probably still light till 5:30ish or so. So
I forgot to tell you, the street lights, the tops have been shipped. We're just waiting for them to arrive, so B&B will put those up right away too.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah, the goal is to have a lit corridor by the time this project is all wrapped up.
Hope so.
I did have an update from DOT. The signals have been delayed at the Birch Street intersection. And so they are looking at probably a 4-way stop there for at least a month. It sounded like the new ship date on the poles was early to mid-November. And that's already been bumped a couple times. So I don't know when that will actually come, but that will all be taken care of and maintained by DOT from my understanding, since that's on their project. And I'll be back to talk about the progress estimate and change order later on today.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, moving forward, we have consent agenda items of minutes from the city council meeting, September 1st, committee of the whole, September 21st, joint review board, September 29th, and plan commission, September 23rd.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, through the committee of whole, we had 2 new ordinances brought forward. One is fire inspections. Changed from 2 times per year to 1 time per year. And one for the duties of the city officers and times served and who's, all the rules and regulations, I guess, for all the city employees there. So
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 13/2021 fire inspections.
Second.
any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 15-2021.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, on here we have a resolution.
'27.
27, thank you. Went way by it. Okay, this has to do with to redistrict the ward boundaries and combine municipal wards for voting purposes in the city of Amory. And this was passed also at committee of the whole.
And if you remember, there are no changes to any of the wards.
Correct.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 16/2021.
second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Discussion of ambulance board merger, number 3. And that's on page 29. I did write that down. I'll read this letter from the Nikki Gullickson. The question was asked regarding the timeline for voting on the merge. Here is the expected timeline, which of course is subject to change. October 15th, we're asking all municipalities to provide feedback or ask questions on proposed bylaws by the state. So this is our chance here to provide feedback. By the end of October, each ambulance board will vote on the finalized bylaws and on merging the 2 services. If both ambulance boards vote to accept bylaws and merge beginning in November, they'll send out a finalized bylaws to municipalities along with the contract. Please note the contract is required for the state EMS office. The contract contains information from the bylaws. December 31st, we'd like to hear from the municipalities if they will continue service with the newly merged ambulance service, or they will be seeking ambulance service from another service. And then the anticipated date of the merge would be January 1st, 2023, unless parties agree to an earlier date and all state plans are approved. So I know Chad had a couple of questions.
Yeah, I think, the first question I had was, I guess about reference to the Amory Hospital, the Amory Regional Medical Center. It was referenced multiple different ways, and I don't think it was even referenced as Amory Hospital and Clinic, which is their official, I think, legal name. So I think there's some things that we want to get worked out there and understanding if the hospital even wants to continue working with the new ambulance services set up. The other was, I think it was in section 2.6. No, that was not it. I read it late at night one. There was a circular reference. I don't remember exactly where it was referencing back to the same paragraph. The other was, location where it's, and I don't have the section number here. The location of where the principal offices would be was left not very specific. I would like to see it be a little bit more specific in that it remains in Polk County. I think what they were trying to do is let it determine, would it be in Luck or would it be in Amory? Well, let's just keep it in Polk County. And then the other is about the arbitration section, which is section 11 here, as I'm just looking at binding arbitration. I would prefer to see a mediation clause in there instead of a arbitration clause.
You got that all down, Ben?
Yeah.
Does everybody else agree with Chad's assessment? That we should ask for those things, or which, any other discussion?
I guess I'll add, I'm not against the merger. I think it's a good idea. So let's just get the bylaws set that are favorable to everyone.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just want to confirm this, we are talking, I just want to make sure that this is correct, January 1st, 2023, that this would go into effect. That's what that says.
That's correct.
So
That's why I
correct.
read
So
it.
it's Yeah, so.
It's gonna take a year
it's
to get
year out. Okay.
everything approved,
I just
and
wanted to make sure that that was correct. Based on everything that needs to be done in the letter that was.
Okay.
That was proposed.
and we are asking all municipalities to provide feedback. Well,
Mhm.
there we have. So
Mhm.
let's see if we can get any of that done. Rick, do you have any thoughts, or?
My question is 2023. I think that's where they're intending on 2022. But that may not be. I don't,
Well, it would make sense as to why they're asking for an agreement from the cities or municipalities if they want to
Mhm.
continue to
Right,
work. It seems like
right. I think there's one municipality, and I don't know which one it is offhand, that has said that they were gonna do something different. And of course, one of the entities that was part of municipal ambulance service, which is Town of Beaver, now they're no longer, they went all the way with Cumberland. So doesn't affect it materially. They had a pretty small population base that we covered up there anyway. So not too much. No, I'm basically in agreement. Like I said before, I think the upside is not so much for us here as it is for the northern communities, but our upside is that our base hospital is here, you know, and I don't see that changing at any time, that we're not going to be health partners oriented and so on. So it is a positive step for us to keep that relationship going. And we have a very good relationship with Amory Regional Medical Center, Amory Hospital and Clinics, whatever, however we finally refer to it. You know, both as an employer in the city and as a partner for our walkabilities and our, you know, their various things that we've done the last couple of years. So I think we have to support this, and I'm thinking it's a good deal.
Is this something we have to vote on, or I think we can just pass this through and let our thoughts be known? Okay. Number 5, or number 4, MSA change order for Keller Avenue.
Yeah, so at the committee of the whole meeting a couple weeks ago, we talked about some curb on Keller Avenue that is not quite full depth. It was about a 1/2 inch shy of full depth, and we had discussed a price deduct, and that I was going to draft a change order and send that over to A1 Excavating to share with Sampson Concrete. I did that, and I've had a lot of conversations with Sampson Concrete, and they are not agreeable to the 25% deduct proposal that you directed. They think that that is not fair because they're looking at it from a deduct per linear foot the last time, which, because their bid price was only $11.50, the roughly 22% was a $2.50 per foot deduct. Now that the price is higher for their repour, their deduct would be $4.75 a foot. And so that's why it's not agreeable to them, the 25%, because they feel like it should still be at that $250 a foot rather than going off percentages. I don't necessarily agree, and it's kind of up to the council with how you would like to proceed on this. The bottom line is, it's non-conforming work, and so at this point, the council shouldn't be paying for non-conforming work. And I thought that what you extended them was fair, and I extended that out to them. They don't see it the same way, so I guess it's up to the council if you want to stick with that and extend that again, or if you would like to try and meet them closer to their number.
Split the difference, you mean?
Did they come back with a counter? Sorry, I was
They-
lost and
they
trying to find the
believe-
document.
Yeah, they believe that it should continue at that $2.50 per linear foot deduct that was taken off of the first time.
Well, if we weren't up against a timeline, we would have said rip it out and replace it, especially if it's the second time. So
Mhm,
That is true.
mhm.
that would be a heck of a lot more expensive for them than the offer that we gave. I really thought it should have been 30%. So I don't know that I would go less than 25% again. But, be curious what the rest of the council thinks.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that as well. I mean, this is the second time it shouldn't have happened, and I don't know. I guess I'm not willing to budge on that right now.
Is there an alternative for them? There is no alternative for them. They have a contract price and it's
Their al-
non-conforming and it's,
Their alternative would be to
Sure.
remove and replace, which includes everything that touches that curb, because you can't just go in there. I mean, and so the expense for them would be quite great.
Millions.
And not only that, once they're out of contract date, they would start facing liquidated damages and that sort of thing. So theoretically, they have the option to remove and replace. It would be far more expensive than the deduct that you're offering them.
So what was the original installed per lineal foot cost?
It originally was the bid price on it was $11.50 a foot.
And and when they rebid it,
$19 a foot.
This last time, and I don't remember what
It was
the
like,
number is.
I thought it was 13 or something.
I
It was
believe-
still higher than the original
Comes
bid.
out to like $14.25 a foot. So is $14.25 a foot. Yep. So
Yeah,
they'd be
but-
taking a deduct this time of $4.75 per linear foot versus last time of $2.50 per linear foot. And that's where they're seeing the difference. And we had talked about it from a percentage number, which is, we were 22% last time, we're 25% this time. Not a big change in percentage, but they're seeing it as the linear foot price.
Mhm.
did the price of concrete go up from point A to point B?
I don't know. I don't think probably that significantly. The reason for their rework price going up was mostly attributed to their schedule of having to come back and rearrange some other jobs and, that sort of thing. So that was why the price went up. It wasn't, the explanation was nothing regarding materials.
And we would, with that deduction, still be paying more than what we originally paid,
That's correct.
so. That's where I'm feeling the sticking point is, we're still paying you more for work that was done, or for work that wasn't in the original contract, and we're paying you more for it. We would have paid you a lot more had it not been done incorrectly.
I'm pretty much in agreement with that. You know, if, I understand it's a pain in the keister because you had to rearrange your schedule and so on, but you aren't paying your guys anymore. You aren't paying any more for materials, and you are getting paid for what you did. More than the first time.
Mm.
So it's just cutting into the fat a little bit, and in lieu of the fact that the second time it wasn't, you know, still wasn't what it should have been.
Mhm.
Bite the bullet, man.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take that back to A1 and tell them that city council is all in agreement that 25% is fair, and at this point is not willing to go any lower on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
As long as you're up there, how about pay request for A1?
Yep. So we had pay request 5 come in from A1. A lot of this, some of the major items, this includes, so the pay request total was $912,544.40. Big ticket items that take up a lot of that. Granular material for the sub-base improvements. There's over $400,000 of asphalt on here that's been laid down for the binder. So roughly half of this pay request is just gravel, sand, and asphalt. The other parts, the select crushed material, the rock material that was put in down at the south end, that came out at $87,000 on this pay request, as well as the $15,000 for the excavation to dig that out. Beyond that, it's cleaning up some quantities with pipe work. It's all of the downtown revisions that were approved on change order 3. For all of that work, the extra pipe, that sort of thing. We've looked through the quantities. I've looked through these with Drew, had Drew look at them. I've looked at them. We feel comfortable with approving the pay request as shown tonight. And I did check, I believe I checked with Britta. I don't think there should have to be any condition placed on tonight's motion to approve, just based on A1 being up to date on payrolls and everything from the funding side of things.
I'd make a motion to approve A1's pay request 5.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Eric. Okay, number 6, we have schedule of fees.
Specifically for the
Fire,
inspections.
fire inspections, yeah. So this was approved at the committee of the whole.
And just for further information for the public, I guess, it was only to add the fee for reinspection of the fire. Correct? Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to approve the schedule of fees as printed.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, now we go, certified survey map was added today into the and we approved
That was at Plan Commission.
at Plan Commission, the Lyle Klink and Justice Dickman certified survey maps. It was just to clear up property lines, correct?
Correct.
And this was approved through Plan Commission.
Yes.
Yep. I'll make a motion to act on the recommendation from the Plan Commission.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, motion carries. And now we got to go to city center signage. I saw we have that in there. Is this something we decide on tonight?
Well, I did not get any local.
Right, yeah, we asked before the last meeting, I think you asked to have Barron and I asked to have Sign Express.
Mhm.
And neither one got back, so.
So what's the full? Do we have a full cost for what the signage is? It's the three quotes
It's actually 2 quotes.
for 11,
Yeah,
11.3 basically. Oh, there's one 11.3 and 11.8.
okay.
Yeah, so what's the quote for the
Graphic house,
What was the price?
The
Oh, I'm
wall
sorry.
sign
I-
is
I'm sorry, he
13K.
has it just abbreviated
Yeah.
there. Okay.
and then the monument options are 14 and 17. Depending, I think on the base, one was a brick base, one was a metal base. I like the monument sign. And I really like the other sign because it's gonna look very nice at night.
Mhm.
But do we need a monument sign there?
I think we do.
You do?
If we don't put it in now, it's never going in.
And that's got an option. for
That's true.
Digital for future.
I'd rather spend the money for digital later and have the sign there to begin with.
One thing I will say, I was impressed with Graphic House. They did a pretty thorough job. And they do they build everything right there, so it's made at their factory. They do everything in-house. They've done a lot of local signs, from what I can tell.
And so we don't have any pictures or anything to demonstrate what the signation of, I think we did last time.
Yeah,
These were like aluminum letters.
yeah, that's a
And
separate
numbers.
thing. So I think for the original, for the signage for the building, I like Graphic House, but the aluminum signs
Mhm.
through Signation, they're doing all of our interior
Okay.
signs for the building. That might be something you want to look at through Signation.
Mhm.
$1,600.
Yeah, 16 for the sign, for the aluminum letters through Signation. Graphic House did not provide those.
That was the city
Yep, City Hall.
hall here and police in there.
Those, yep, those
We could
things
probably
is
do that as a separate.
separate.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 2 signs with Graphic House. The
Correct.
wall sign and one of the 2 monument options,
Monument.
correct?
So either brick or whatever that base.
Oh, so that's the only difference.
That's the only difference.
Oh, okay.
I like the dark base better because I think the brick is never gonna match.
Yep, I agree with that.
And how much did you say it was for the other aluminum sides? 1,600?
1620.
16.
Yeah.
And I guess I agree. I don't like the brick option. So adding 13 plus 14 plus 1,600 gets us close to $30,000. I guess I would make a motion to go ahead with signage not to exceed $30,000.
I would second that, and then I have another question.
Yeah, sure.
And this company was gonna be able to cover up some of the,
Graphic House.
yeah, they would be able to cover up what currently is there, yeah.
Yes.
Whereas the other one, we would
Most of
have
it.
to deal with that.
I thought they were nicer.
Are we not gonna have brick on the outside of the police department?
There is brick there. Yeah. So you're saying you want
They
brick
got,
on the side?
well, they got brick left over, or they
Oh,
should be able
Oh,
to match
I
the
see what
brick.
you're getting at. Yeah.
I like just the black base myself.
What is it, black what though?
I'm sure it's sheet metal. That's what was there before, blue sheet metal, that big tall thing, so they bend it up and put it on, powder coated.
Yeah, there, here shows you a picture right here. Rick.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
Yep.
I
I mean, the way I look at it, if it's gonna be brick, it's gotta be brick that matches the existing building that's there now. And are we gonna be able to find something that's gonna match close enough and have it?
there isn't brick on the building that's there now, but it will.
What about that? Because that's not
It's
gonna
not that
change.
right here.
That's for the police department though, not, it won't, because that sign is gonna be out in the corner, right?
Right, but that's.
Right,
a
but
brick
that's
back
the
behind.
building. That's the corner of the building. That's Keller and Birch Street,
Yeah, I
or
see.
Maple Street, pardon me.
Well, does the brick match the police department, the front of it?
That's up against. that
But that's
section's
in the
up against
backside,
Starkville.
can't see us.
Yeah, it's not the same as the front.
Nobody cares about you, Marson.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
We're
I
talking
don't
about
have a bit,
1,700 more over the 30,000 that is in the estimate or the not to exceed, so.
1,700 cheaper for the,
No, so if you went brick, it's 30,000, and then we still need the 1,640 for the other signs. I prefer the black over the brick.
It's sharp. And that'll be lit too.
okay. And not easy.
I like the blue and the color. I think it's gonna look nice lit up at
And it's
night.
gonna look really nice.
So we have a motion made, seconded, and any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, Emery Public Library moving cost to city center.
So at the committee of the whole meeting, I guess I wasn't sure if we were given the authority to make the decision and who we hired to move. And maybe it doesn't really matter. But I do have a question because when we first talked about this at the beginning of September, Daymakers had really only given us one estimate of $78,000 to move the entire library. After the bids were opened, or the sealed bids were opened, then they rebid based upon a 3-week period after seeing what their competitor offered as well. And surprise by surprise, it's cheaper. So that gives me a little bit of heartburn in that we'd be awarding a bid to somebody that saw somebody else's bid before they put it in. The total cost, if I'm adding things up correctly from, I think it's Yerger is how you pronounce it, is $47,831.50 was what their top estimate was to move the library plus the Historical Society. It's a big number, but it has to be moved, and that was the quote that came in. So I guess I would be inclined to say let's allocate at least that much or pay the bill for Yerger to be moved. Now, knowing that's a 3-week move period, if we back that up, we're talking about moving during Thanksgiving. So the library would already be closed for almost a week, I think, in that time period. I'm not quite sure where the Historical Society stuff is going to go though, right? So that'll have to be figured out. But
Yeah, we are actively looking for a spot. 12 by 20, 200 square feet, 240 square feet. For now is what we need. Preferably heated and dry.
But I know it's not up to the city council to decide space allocation, but I do scratch my head a little bit, given that the Friends of the Library said they were going to rethink the way that they fundraised for the library and not do book sales anymore, as to why the library would still continue to allocate that amount of space to the Friends and allocate the amount of space that they have chosen to do between the Friends and the Historical Society. Again, not up to us, just a question that I have. on the line of thinking there, but
Well, and with that said, it's not up to us to determine who they choose to move the library because that's not our decision to make. We just have to decide how much we're going to put towards it. And that's on them, I guess. The thing that I'm having a problem with is that it seems as though there's, according to these bids and according to the conversation that we've been having, that there's no employees assisting with this at all. And so it sounds as though, the movers would be doing everything from taking the stuff off the shelves, moving it and putting it back on the shelves. And I mean, that's a significant cost. And I realize we're talking about weight, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get that, but I also feel like it's an important part of the people that actually are working at the library to be involved in the reshelving of things. And, how much would that reduce from the moving cost itself? Again, it's not up to me to decide, but I do feel like that number could be lower by utilizing volunteers or employees that we're already paying. Are they not going to be open and operating, and are we not paying people during that time?
Is it
That's my question.
was that a bid situation when they, on the prices, or did they just solicit prices?
Ashley
Yeah, it
told me
was
that
not
they
a-
were
it was
sealed
not a-
bids.
It was sealed?
That's what Ashley had said at the
Oh,
committee of the
okay, I
whole
guess I'm
meeting.
not-
Because if they're sealed bids and we didn't get the lower one, and then Daymakers came in and readjusted their price. Seems to me Aries should have the same opportunity
Mhm.
to do that. I mean, you don't mind losing a bid. I bid every day of the week, but
I think what we have to determine is how much money are we going to put towards it. I don't care who does it. That's up to them. That's not our decision. making.
So if we put a figure down there, they can decide how much volunteer help they can get to help pack
Mhm.
for these people to move to reduce their costs.
Or we just go with the lower estimate. So Yergers gave an estimate of 39.5 to 43.8. Do we just go with the lower one? Assuming that they can make up the difference. It brings it to 33 or 43, 400 or no, $43,556.
for what's that?
To move.
Where did you get that?
So I took the 39,596.50 plus the $3,960 for the historical society. Which
I met with this historical society yesterday. And they're gonna have everything packed.
and moved out on their own.
No, they'll have everything packed. So it just has to be moved. So I'm not sure how much, if it's gonna be a full 39.60 or not. But we probably should include it. Because it will go to where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Or we can make it contingent on if they move it too, right? If they pack up everything and we, city council goes a couple days and at night for a couple hours and moves it, we could do that.
Or do we say we pay the invoice for Yergers up to, then again, we're saying who it is. Or we pay the invoice up to that amount, whatever company they decide. Up to a set amount.
I'd say up to 40,000.
That number sounds not good, but it sounds reasonable. Because they're, again, you're 40,000 and now the Historical Society is packing their own stuff up. And I have no idea how much stuff they have. Does it fit in a, fit on a 16-foot trailer or, how much?
They thought it could fit in a 200 to 250 square foot room. So 12 by 20.
Historical society.
Yeah. I mean, once it's packed up, there's not much there.
I thought you were asking. the whole library.
Oh, no, yeah, but I say, so it's 12 by 20, that's one good trailer load, you know.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think 40,000 is more than fair.
And if the invoice comes in lower than that, then, I mean, I think we have to tie it to the
Up
invoice
to
price.
40.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to put that much money into it. I'm just not. I think it should be split somehow. I just have a hard time with paying the whole dollar amount of the moving expenses. It's not our stuff we're moving. It's been made abundantly clear. It's not ours.
Do you have
That's my opinion.
a thought, an idea?
I would say half.
That's a better figure.
Make your motion.
I would make a motion to put $20,000 towards the moving of the Amory Public Library. Whatever they choose to move. Bookshelves, books, historical society, I don't care what it is, but $20,000 is what I'm willing to. So that's my motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay. Closed session, Wisconsin statute 1985 1E, police union negotiation at Amory City Center. Deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, investing in public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. We'll be coming out of closed session with no decisions.
No, there might be.
There might be. Okay, Larry, you got to come back. All right. And then we have a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor? Oh, roll call.
Van Blaricom,
Yes.
Isaacson,
Yes.
Planum,
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
All right.